anyway?
See, you disabled your
Describe what
Pointing
you're
at
seeing, guys. Let me help you.
zoom my screen here. Zoom my screen.
Oh, the Zoom screen.
Eh,
Somebody is making a lot of sense. I need to increase. I need to increase my. Is it? Is the Zoom? Oh yeah. No. All right. View tools. Iri papi. Settings.
Nash. Do center
Guys, this thing is or at view. There it is. View profile. Show hide, no status, no. Customize.
Viringe my comments.
I want to increase the zoom, the font.
Viringe my comments.
Can see it. Yeah, I know, ESSH, but I just want to increase the. It's a question.
How about they just do it in I'll see we are using a different to just present.
What I saw? No. I want to increase the font shader.
And
Okay. That's what I want. That's what I want. Guys, are you seeing this with the? Are you seeing this? I know. Are you seeing this?
right.
Yes, sir, we are.
What are you seeing? I'm going to write my name somewhere. Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
no.
Yes.
Yes, we are seeing your name.
My name on after the ampersand. Where the blue
Yes.
is? Are you seeing where the highlight is?
Yes, we are seeing it.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay. Guys, I am. Let's start by making a few announcements. First announcement is that this is the last lecture in terms of the Linux section of your introduction to computers. But it's this beginning of exercises. We are hoping that by Monday we'll be ready to do a mock exam or tests, or to begin mock tests for you. First test will be on Monday around the same time. Same time, yeah, 1 o'clock. And then the real test. All right, say something, Tinaje.
The name it at the same time, same man.
Monday. Get a Friday.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, I know.
Yeah, Friday.
Next Wednesday. Is that okay? And then we do the test on next Friday. Is that okay for you guys?
Yes, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. We are now together. So we're going to have a test on Wednesday around 1 o'clock. On Friday around 1 o'clock, we're going to have another test. The first test We call it a mock test. Please do it because I'm going to record some of these marks as class tests. Is that okay, people?
Yeah, see, but that is chinyorera pai manje, but pa Google Class.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to enunciate, Tinashe, don't worry. We're going to do this as a quiz test, which means it's going to be multiple tests or structured questions where you do it, but everything will be online. And what we're going to do is we will use the same environment. We will not use, LMS. LMS, I hear there's a problem with it, so we're not going to use it. Is that clear in the room?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. So test on Wednesday, another test on Friday. The first test, we call it a class test or a mock exam. We just want to test the system if it works properly. And then the next one will be a real test. And we are going to record both as coursework coursework marks or a combination of these tests will give us a class test. And please do not fail to do it because you are going to be having no coursework mark. So you need to just make sure that you are online, make sure that you've got a good bandwidth, make sure that it's within the time between 1 and 3 o'clock. Between 1 and 3. The paper must be done presumably within 1.5 hours. You should finish the exam. So please, let's bear that in mind before we start, that there is going to be tests on next week, starting on Wednesday at 1 o'clock, and followed by another one, Friday at 1 o'clock again. And the thing is, they are both going to be recorded, but we will call the first one a mock exam test. The next one, a real coursework exam test. Is that clear in the room?
Excuse me.
Yes, connected to
Jose,
I don't think I can address those issues. You go to a cafe or somewhere where the network is good, especially when you are doing an exam. You need to go to an exam to a place where the network is good. I can't address that one.
Sir, some people are asking to be admitted into the lesson.
To get what?
Into the lesson, they are not being accepted into the lesson.
All right.
say,
Yes.
Kosi inofana kubuda pa ELMS.
No.
All right.
Kosi ndio ili kubuda ipapa chete.
All right. No number ona pa ELMS.
Problem ndio kuti pa LMS kune 4 courses.
All right. All right.
Kune library 2, then kune information yekunyola mapaper, which is another lesson on the same time. So we are afraid we are crowded on that platform. We decided, no, let's formulate our own our own group, and then just get into increasing our visibility. Visibility is not correct. You will not know which lesson you are coming from.
Sorry,
for Linux, and these are practical computer driving lessons training.
Sorry, say.
Did I answer that?
Yes.
Is that clear, ma'am?
Yes.
Or say, who asked that question?
Someone.
I end as I clear.
And
Sorry, say I've got a question.
Yeah.
So since it's not appearing on ELMS, the issues that has to do with the notes,
What?
where can we where can we get the notes?
We gave you reps the very first day. We sent those notes and we asked you to get in touch with the notes. Are you attending this thing for the first time?
For this
Because we did
Google
Word, we did Excel, we did PowerPoint.
for this class, for this Google class, I'm coming for the first time. Last week I failed to connect.
Yeah, that's your problem. You should have gotten in touch with somebody who has got a good network, and you get in touch and you hook up with them. Is that okay?
Okay.
Guys, there's no way I can be asked to improve your network or to give you notes when we did that the very first lesson. I don't understand people, We cannot be talking about notes. The other day, I must apologize, I was rather very, I think, nasty to this student we had asked last time. But the truth of the matter is I cannot be talking about the same issue all over. Otherwise, my time for the lecture is going to be eaten.
Yeah, let's get started. I think.
Yeah, because there is. It's not even it. It did. It stayed with the positive. When I say it come out, and then it went up.
You want to zoom?
So, guys, we're going to get into the system. What is it? Whatever.
Sign. Okay, the iPhone is 34 degrees Windows minus. All right. What's this? If I say full screen, what happened? Chama, I don't want to be having this all the time. I want to go to my. No, I want to go to inside my. Yeah. All right. Guys, let me start by saying that this is Secure Shell. Secure Shell is a connection to a Linux server that we use when we are in Windows. So you install the Secure Shell on a Windows machine, you install it to make it possible for you to connect to your Linux machine from a Windows machine. So that's what I've done. I'm logged into a machine remotely and I'm using Secure Shell to do that. You will find that there are so many of these terminal connections environment that one can use. Is that okay? If you look, are you seeing this one?
Yes.
Are you seeing the blue thing? And the server that I'm currently hooked to.
No, sir.
Server that I'm currently hooked to.
Sir, we cannot see anything.
Guys, are you seeing the screen?
No, sir, we can just an error.
Yeah, tukuru
But others vari kuona kaiwo kuita sei kusaona. Are you seeing pataka highlight kuti Secure Shell?
Yes.
Yes.
So we are kuona ameno pari. Please try to talk to your friends because I'm out here and I don't even know what you're seeing. I would help you if you're in the labs.
It's okay, sir, I can now see.
I can proceed, is it?
Yes, sir.
Now, when you log on to Linux machine, if you look at this one, I'm logged in and I'm logged in as root. The special note about root in Linux is that
in as super user. And when you are logged in as super user, the ampersand prompt, this one here that I've highlighted, appears and shows you are actually a super user. Okay, when you can where you can see that you are actually the super user is when you've got the prompt, and the super user in this case is root. And what happens is the @ sign. The @ sign here shows you where you are at, or the computer name that you are at. And if you notice, gold hope sign, that's the server that we are logged into. And this squiggle here shows here I am actually on my home directory. So if I say print working directory, PWD, it actually shows you I am on root. And that's what we're going to be working from most of the time. But however, I will not be working as root, because people are not supposed to work as root. The reason why I'm at root is I want to set a password for a user, or create a user for you guys to use during your training, or for the sake of this demonstration. So for that sake, I've got a user called, I think, test user. Let me just do that. Test user. And that user now, I need to set their password. And there's something very important about setting the password is it must be long enough, and you must be able to remember it. So one, it must be long enough and cryptic. You use your base it on a name and put in capitals, characters, and numbers to make it sure that it is very, very cryptic, and it is not going to be easy to crack into. You can see I did a password and it says bad password. Are you seeing that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it means my password was very, very easy to crack into. But I'm doing it just to make sure that you guys can tell the difference. But when we have got a very good password, it doesn't say that. It just what? Now, when we have done that, it says all authentication tokens updated successfully, which means I've moved I've actually changed, because that was my command. Password, the name of a person gives me a password. This here, what was I doing here? I was changing the password of a person called, what's the name of the person?
Test user.
Test user. Thank you for the following. So the test user password is changed, and I have managed to change it into what I can remember. Now, when this is all done, I can actually switch in between. But before I can leave this environment, is super user is used probably creating users, installing software, and shutting down the system. All those functionalities are not done by the average user. But I'm going to switch user now, SU, to test user. Then you will notice a difference there. SU is for switching user. So now if I switch user, you see what has happened. What has happened? My test user is now, if you look at test user there, is now at the server. But he is seated on a root which is not his, or on a home directory which is not his. So let's correct that and abnormality by saying cd/home /test user. And then what are we doing there? We have now gone to the home directory for a person called test user.
Yes.
Are we together, people? And when we are at your home directory, this
Yeah.
vehicle, this thing here, chinobva chawedge, chinobva charatidza kuti you are on your home directory. So when I'm there, I can do things now or run all the commands. The first one that we did was date. Remember that one? And we can actually,
Sir, I have a question.
we have a date minus I. Sorry?
I have a question.
Yes.
When you typed cd/home/test user, what does the cd stand for?
CD stands simply, ma'am, for change directory. These are commands in Linux, there are many. But it's a simple command to say, I want to change my directory. Remember, what was happening there, ma'am? We were seated on a different directory, which is not ours, which was called root. So what I was doing there was changing and just updating the abnormality that we are not sitting on our home directory. Let's go and sit on our home directory. And our home directory is /home/test user. Is that okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good.
Yes, thank you.
And then I've run the date, and it gave me the date here in terms of Wednesday, Friday, 10, and then the time is 13:49 and a few seconds, and then it's 20:21.
Se,
This
pana
is
wakumbira
what we
upinde.
get when we say date. But if we put a minus I on the same date, we get a different format. And these are the commands that we did and we saw the other time. Is that okay, people? So we've done,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
we've done a PW, we've done change user. Oh, sorry, we've done password as well. Password. Password change, we've done SU, which is change, and CD for changing directory. This one, SU, is for changing user or switching between the user. And then the CD is out there for changing the directory. Now I'm back to doing the normal Linux commands that we did. Is that okay, people?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Se pana
Can I
wakumbira
proceed?
upinde.
Yeah.
Now we can actually say
That's what to do.
if
People
you want to be
to be admitted into the classroom.
or you want to be admitted into the class.
Yes, they are saying that they are not being admitted. They've been waiting.
Yeah, for 15 minutes.
Oh man, each time I do this, it's all right. All right. can't be doing this. Why can't the system just do enough? I don't like it. Guys, next time I might be using Zoom because this technical is really necessary.
Yes.
I don't like it. But anyway, I've deleted all of them. They are there now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Zombo.
I don't like the kind of arrangement that is really not good for me. Where is my... Anyway, are we together now?
Yes, sir.
We've done the date command. We've also presumably done the print working directory. The other thing that we can do is do other things like who. It's a very simple question in Linux. It means if I say who, I get who are the other people that are logged into the system. So I can find out who is logged in, and I can even ask the system, who am I? One way. And the system will tell me who I am. For example, you just go in, you don't know who is logged in, you can actually ask the system who is currently logged in. Is that clear in the room?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. I'm going to soldier on, and I will dwell a lot with this command on this command called the ls, and I will try to teach you every other aspect of Linux that there is to learn about it. We said there is a command called ls. We saw it last time, and that command, what it does, it says on the current directory, please give me a listing of the items that are there. That is file and directories. The other one that you can use is the dir, which is a DOS command actually that you can use. But the difference, what's the difference, guys? You realize that in Linux, if you say ls, the subdirectories are highlighted in different color. Is that okay? From the files. The file, like file 7, is in black, whereas the directories or subdirectories are in blue. Did you notice that? Are you seeing that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So in the Linux environment, we're able to see the differentiation between the folders and the regular files and the directories. That's the advantage of this Linux command. But we also say ls can be supported by a switch. That okay? Can be supported by a switch. And a simple switch is -L. -L is a lamp. Please disable your mic, please, if you're doing some other business. If we say ls -L, what we're saying is we are going to ask Linux to give us an output of the ls command, but in a different format. And this format, for your own information, is called long. So we're going to ls or list long. By listing long, we are saying for the information that I have listed previously, I want the listing to be long. By long listing, we are saying, please can you give me the details? For example, if we run it nicely, we can see that the exams, are we seeing that? the exam directory
Yeah.
is actually was actually created in this date. Are we seeing the date of creation
Yes, sir.
of the
Yeah.
exam file? And then we also see the size of that file, which is there. And we also see the other details, like the owner of that file. So, or rather, the group owner of that file. We want to see also the owner, because as it is, this file was owned by a test user, but he also belongs to a group, or is also owned by a group called root. And this is an abnormality which we will talk about later. But if you look at this file, the owner and the group, or so-called primary group owner, on the file. This file called exam was created by user belonging to a group called test root, and that we said is a super user environment. Out here, there is also these strings of numbers, and that we talked about last time, and we said they are the permissions permutation. What did we say? The first three identify what the owner can do to the file. And if you can see, the owner can read, write, and execute the file. But out the group that the owner belongs to can only read and execute. They cannot write the file. Others in the domain or in the file can also read and execute the file, but they cannot write the file. Is that clear in the room? We talked about it last time. Is that clear?
Yes.
The new aspect that I expect people to ask me is the D. What do you think the D stands for? Let's hear people say something. What do you think the D stands for? The D identifies it as a directory. So exams here is a directory. And you can see it proceeds this each time or everywhere where the directory exists, the D exists as well. So all these are labeled as directories. That's a directory. That's a directory. Check on the prodigy, check on the movies, they are directories. And these can be labeled apparently. So when we say list long, we get whether it's a directory or a file. When it's a file, you can see, check on the file 7 here. There is absence of a definition for it. And that is for a regular file. So we can have directories, we can have regular file. But when we say list long, we are able to identify whether it's a real directory or it's a regular file, and also anything to do with the permissions. Who owns it? That's the person who owns it. And the group that shares that file, and the size of the file, and the date the file was created. Do you see that there's more detail on this listing than in the previous case? If you go back to what we did, our LS previously just produced a list of content. But if you look at this list, it is very detailed. It consists of all the files and who owns them. And you can see that a file called microcontrollers is not owned by test user. Are we together? It's owned by root. And root has got a group of his own. And the size of the file is that one. And the file was created in that on that date. that is indicated. Are we together, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anybody with a query as far as this section is concerned? Are we see, Siren? Have we understood?
Yes, sir, we have.
Can I proceed?
Ndezvo.
Yes,
You
sir,
know,
you can
proceed.
proceed. You can proceed, sir.
All right. LS minus L. We can also say, no, I don't want to see the LS of the current directory that I'm looked at. Are we together? I can say, no, I want to look at a file or directory called etc. So I will say slash, which means I'm addressing it here absolutely, slash etc, and then I've put my, not ECT, but etc. When I've done that, I'm now directing my energies to listing in detail. You get it? I'm listing, yes, but I'm listing long. And what is the other thing? Is I've got a target. So you can actually put in a target. If I do this, you see it takes long. All these are files that exist on etc, and there are so many. There are regular files, there are directories, and there's so many things under etc. And I want to tell you that it is a very useful subdirectory for configuration of the system. Now, what have we done? We have just gone to another targeted file and listed long. We didn't go there, but we could have simply gone there by doing what, guys? By saying cd/etc, then taococo.ls. Then we will still do the same thing. The absolute addressing removes the idea of repetition. You can actually do an absolute addressing of what you want. So we can say we've got ls. Sorry, I can use the upper arrow. You can see what I did. ls being a command, and minus L being a switch, and the target is there. Are we together, guys? So we have done, we put a target. But in addition, there are so many ways to do the listing. We can also say ls minus a and put without putting a target. Let's see that. In fact, let me do the three and you see the difference. And then we do an ls minus what? Minus L. If you look at this, my ls minus A gave me so much detailed flant, but of all these files, including what is known as the dot files, which means the hidden files, and it brought them up into life. That's what your switch minus A does. And then minus L gave me the details of who owns the file. But these are not the hidden files. So what I can do if I really want, I can combine the two. I can say minus AL as a way of finding out what is happening. What has happened, guys? We have got the listing of all the files, yes, but because there's an A, all the files are listed, including the hidden files earmarked by dots. All these are hidden files. They are dot files, we call them. And they don't appear easily, so they are system files. And when we put a minus A, we're saying, give me the detail of every file that is there. But when you do an ls simply, you don't see the, you can see what we did. Ls that we did here, we only listed only these files and none of the dot files. We can see now the dot files are brought about. Now, another much interesting one is ls minus h minus l, and let's put an h and an l. Let's see what the difference is. You can see, okay, let's see, let's remove the h and see what the difference is. The difference is largely on the human readability of the size of the file. So the minus h, what it does is a magic switch for saying, no, I want it to be humanly readable to me, so that it appears as Ks, megas, or what? What's the other thing? It can appear as teras or something. So rather than appearing as a garbage of numbers, it will appear to me as a readable format for the number. That's the only difference what the H has done. So if you look at this, this is very, 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 very useful in reality in Linux, because it allows you to read these numbers as they appear in the best way possible. And you can actually deal with things that are difficult. How and when and how can I be told which switch and when? You can only, the when part is through experience. But how to do it is very easy. We can invoke what is known as the manual. If I say man ls, remember, man is just a manual. ls is a command that you know. So I want to see the switches that I'm talking about, whether we've been telling each other the truth or not. You can see that there's a switch called -a. What does this switch do? It's for all the files. Do not ignore entries with dots. And this is magical. You can see there are so many switches. There are so many. And we can spend the whole day talking about them. Because they are there in Linux, we can easily ignore that, because we can only do that when we want to apply on a specific environment. You can put a -d if you want directories only. You can put a this thing is, all right. You can put a -g, -h is the one that I tried to demonstrate there for human readability. And you can see I'm trying to go too long. Yes, there it is. After K, there's L, which says use a long listing format. And that is when we get the details that we need. All this is very possible. We can put -q, we can put a -r for reversal. We can reverse them. We can do a lot of things around it. We can actually do, error if we really want. Now, why have I done this? I'm trying to say, guys, I didn't do a magic thing. I'm following what Linux says. And if you invoke the manual by saying man ls, it will tell you the switches that you need. And you guys must be aware of what is known as the man page, or the man and then the name of the command. You can actually do it from man -d minus, let me quit this. You can say if you want, you can actually say minus, what's the other one that we did? Oh yeah, date. We can say, I've forgotten the sheet that I was using with the minus date. And if you do that, we can go down and find out what the minus, where is it? Can't find it. I can't find it. Minus I. I'm trying to find out if the format is listed. Oh, it is. But shoot, there's so many things that are there, and you can get yourself lost into the activities there. Yeah, there's a minus U for the UTCL time, universal time. But I can see minus I. Oh, there it is. There it is. So I'm not lost. Sorry, guys. I couldn't see it. If you put a minus I, it will put update of the ISO 8601 format. And then you were able to see the date. The other way to do the same, if you notice the other time we did that, you can actually say minus ISO minus 8601, and that does this thing of the format in that ISO standard or format that is required, and only the date will appear, and that's nice. People always want to have a precise measuring of things, so we can do that. And you can actually do quite a lot of things, really, a lot of things, if you apply these switches. There are so many, and it's difficult for you to even ask me where to find them. So if you say man and a command, you get the manual for it. And what does the manual do? It gives us the ability to put extra switches on the command, and we get a refined output from the output that we are normally used to when we say man. Is that okay, guys?
Yeah.
Are you following? So
Yes.
when we say man, we get please switch off the man. Switch off your mic. Switch your man off your mic. Who is this one?
Divine Jima Kanigi.
Mara, ane jealous asikuda kuti tidzidze. Anyway, guys, so you got it. Can I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Can I proceed?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Linux is so good, and people get bored easily because there's so many commands and something. So the man command helps us. Even if we've forgotten the switch, we can remind ourselves by saying, by the way, there was this switch that we were using when I was doing a training. And what was the switch? L or some, was it a K or an S? Let me try that. But the command was definitely ls. So if you say man ls, it will actually give you the listing of the switches that you can use together with ls in order to get a refined output. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can I proceed?
You can proceed, sir.
Yeah.
Good. So we have seen that a command can be enhanced by putting a switch. And there are so many times we do that in order to get things into the right mode. Is that okay? So we actually do.
Yeah.
When we do the proper Linux, you find that we use it in programming as well. We call another command And when we do that, you find that the switches come in very handy. You can actually call a time date on a thing and then get an exact time or an exact date or an exact day of the week. So we can play around with that and get all those things done. You guys must know that Linux has a command, and each command is supported by a switch. And a switch is simply to enhance the characteristics of the output, so that our output is different from normal Linux. Can I proceed?
Now.
See, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, you can proceed.
Yeah, I can proceed. If you look, the Linux is also good at reminding people. Say like we've done this course, you guys are doing an introductory course, but even us, we do very thorough Linux. You can forget a command, but you can also forget the switch. So how do you get helped? You can actually use another command called apropos. Apropos, please, this is not a wrong spelling. Don't try to correct it. Apropos, are you seeing that? Minus, sorry, and then I would say list, and put a phrase or an actual English statement which you want to do. Saying I've forgotten, in this case, I've forgotten the command that does this. Was it a KL? Was it a GS? Was it an SL? Was it, you know, you can ask yourself such questions when you have done a course, but you can easily recall the Linux thing by using apropos. Some of these things you mustn't forget. Please don't forget apropos. Apropos, if I put it as a command, I can say list of directory content. If you do this, guys, you will find that you can get a listing of all, because what apropos does is it says, okay, we don't remember a thing, we have forgotten. Now, what was it doing? What was the command doing? And I remember it was doing a listing of directory content or content or something like that. Let me just do this one and see. If you do that, apropos should be able to give you a listing of all the commands that I'm listing. But if you do that, you go bananas. So if you do, if you are clever, you would then do a pipe and put less out here. Less, and the pipe and less, what it does is it allows you not to see the end of the output, but you'll be able to go to scroll up, down the output. And then if I go down the list, I must go where it says LS. Is it there, Richard? You know, yeah, this one now. Wagara Farid Linux. LS, Irguya. I want to LS. It doesn't come out, and it's going to then I'm going to LS. So this one didn't work. Let's go back. Let's quit. Let's recall. Let's find out what is wrong. Content.
I think my spelling at direct.
Direct. Oh, Let me see. Thank you, Chirungu. Panamai. Karakure nemoto. Waita obatira hapo.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Mabebi
Yeah?
mabebi yangu na jirungu.
Anogona chirungu. Agara nekuchikoro chaiterea mabhedhi machirungu aiko. Anyway, so if you look, you see there, Anna, that was the correction that was needed. Oh, LS is not there, is it there?
No, it's not.
What? What's happening to me? Apropos is not listing anything. No. Hey. Before you can say it's no neighbor. I think you need to go down and you feel. Yes. No, let me just finish this demonstration. Then you can ask say. Is it about what I'm doing now? What I haven't finished? Yeah? You know, is it about what I'm demonstrating, say?
Yes.
But can you see the contents now?
Yes.
Are you seeing this part?
Yes.
Yes.
What? Isn't that what we are looking for, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
It's now there.
It's now.
So you guys can say that I know what I'm doing. And apropos use primarily. You can forget a command. You can be you can be corrected by using apropos use. Are we together? So we have forgotten the command. But after getting the command, we can have forgotten as well the switch. How do we remind ourselves about the switch? We use the command to get the switch so to be reminded about what the switch does. We need to do that. Now that I've done that, let me invite question. Somebody has a question. Please, can I have it now?
So, say on the previous two commands, you wrote a wrong spelling that directly, right? And the output on that was the same as the previous one from this, which gave you the correct output. So, between the two, what can you say? What was the difference actually between those two? Because they gave you the same output, but the correction direction was wrong.
Yeah, you could not do what you were on a chirungu. Chirungu chinonet, running around. So you can.
But they gave you the output, sir.
Yeah, you could not do what you were on a chirungu. Running around. Yanar kudaro kan. Yanar bisa eko kan. Kumana rike kutaka kan. Yanar kudaro. Kita wana kuli yani cham kumpa makiraki. Please, let's not play around. If you look at the apropos yukutanga yananasiasi yatipachiru, you will find that generally it will assist you and still give you the output. What apropos does is it's a command that allows you to do a listing of phrases that reminds you about the command. Was in the ratio Kinda?
Yes, I understand, sir.
Yeah. So, like what I did, you can be wrong, but you spell a phrase right around it. Then you take longer, which is sad. Because when I lay down no direction watching the CS, you correct, then you go to the right, you wanna command the other. So, it is a very good tool for those people who are generally needing some reminder of some kind. But of course, if you are writing down
and you're going to practice, you find that there are very few times you have to use apropos. But of course, most of us, including the gurus in Linux, there are times you just forgetting, oh, what was I doing the other day? I was getting some listing. I can't remember exactly what I was doing. So you play around those phrases that you can remember. Then it will give you a list or a listing of all commands that you exist. And you can easily associate or therefore remind yourself about the command. When you need now the switch, that's when you go back and use man. Man ls then reminds you about the command switches that you need to support that command.
So, I have another question.
Yes.
So, if you are on a Linux machine, right, which is running an OSA Linux, right? So, if you know these commands, it would be easy to interact with the system rather than using the GUI, right?
Yes, in fact, you guys, I would rather discourage you heavily from using the GIU, the graphical user interface, the Linux. It's good. It has improved over the years. But during my training, which was back in 1996, we were not able to do anything with the GIU then. The graphical user interface was so bad, you could almost have it crashed. But of course, with the time, they've refined it. It's now improving, and you can do everything with it nowadays. But as computer people, as computer training, as people who are going to do administration, you will not fix anything in Linux from the graphical user interface side. You need to go to the shell. And to go to the shell, you need to do commands. So that's why you're no, it's necessary to know Linux this way. And it's fixable only if you know your command. Yes, you can use the graphical user, ignore it, but in most cases it will crash on you, and then you don't do anything. Yet, from the command side, you can fix almost every Linux problem that you can come up. Believe you me, I've fixed a lot of things around Linux from the command, not from the graphical user. In fact, I've never used the interface, graphical interface, except for example, when I want to copy paste things, I want, these simple file manipulation things. But when I want to do important things, we will not do anything with graphical interface environment. Thank you for asking that question. Young man, you deserve a better report. I like a student who thinks. Thank you so much for asking that question. So we could easily how do I get out of this? I want to get out of this. Oh, sorry, I'm minimizing. But I want to get out of. This is not what I'm used to. It's a lot of. I don't like things that I'm not used to. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. If you can actually look at there are people who are waiting. If you go on the system, you will find that. Sorry, I wanted just to share this file. Are you seeing this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. and this is on your PowerPoint, and these are the so-called file manipulations that we do. The other part that I will do just now is to do the creation of a file and just find out who owns the file and things like that. And that's what I'm left with. How are we doing for time? We still have time because we leave at 3. So, what did I do? I did, I'm going to talk about this now. After I was trying to demonstrate to you all these new LS environments where you guys can come across online, things like that. We demonstrated that. We need to talk now about files, ownership of files. We need to just touch on that and then create directories. I think that will be the last straw on the dead horse. It will certainly kill it. So, what am I supposed to demonstrate, guys? I'm supposed to go back and demonstrate the Linux environment, which does I am doing things that I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, so which does the manipulation of file. You guys must know what I've talked about, and you must also as well appreciate what I'm going to talk about. If you do. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Is that okay, guys?
Yes, sir, it's okay.
Okay. Can I proceed? Now I'm going to talk about files and their ownership. How to create a file. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we've talked about our proposed man-making things that are at the level at which they assist us. Good. I'm getting the gist of things now. Now, we can actually say LS. We will find out. Here, yes. If we say LS, what are we doing? We are going to get exams, a file, and things like that, etc. from the content of that folder. But we can also add another file here. We can say the file is file 1. I can say touch. File 1. Enter. And I do ls and ls. You can see I now have the file 1. Are we together, guys?
See, I have a question.
I didn't have a file 1, now we have created a file 1. Yes, what's the question to say?
Let's say you want to create a file and you already have let's say you want to create a file, right?
Yeah.
Then the file's name is file 1,
Yeah.
but you don't know if in your system you already have that file, right? Let's say you create file 1 and you already have that file in your system. What will happen to the file that is already there?
It should tell you that the file already exists. For example, let me try it. Let's try it. Let's say touch file 1 again. Let's see if that is going to work. From, what's your name, sir? Hold. All right. Hold. The file. Does it allow us to create? Yes. This is very stupid. Very unwise. It's overwriting the previous one.
Are we
Okay,
together?
okay. Yes, sir.
ndokuti wachinja profile pic rangu
Are we together,
ngozi
guys?
zvaitika panapa.
Yes, sir.
Now we can also create that file in the different way. And the file, for example, I can say cat. There's so many ways of creating a file on Linux. Cat, if I want, I can say cat file 2. And I say I like Linux. It's actually not. Oh, yeah. I like Linux. And I'm reading. I enjoy doing good stuff. I am good. I have been asked to train very brilliant students on Linux. I can go ahead and type anything that I want. And if I'm through, I say Control Z and say ls minus L, or ls only. You can see that a file 2 exists. Are we together? But the file 1 exists, the file 2 exists, and the file 7 like previous thing. But I must investigate, find out what is the content of a file. And to find the content of a file, we use the command called less. We can use cat if we want. Oh, let's use cat. You can say cat file. File 1. Let's get it. There's almost nothing on file 1. Let's get file 2. Let's see. Ah, there's something on file 2. Are we seeing that?
Yes, sir.
Which is good. We need to create a file with something. How did I do that, guys? I kept greater than, then the name of the file. And then I can create a file. Another way of creating the same file, now, to follow what the other young man was saying, you can see that I've overwritten that file by creating another one. So Linux, what I did was stop. I didn't save. So the thing is, what is happening? Cat file 2, all right, the previous content is still there. I can also create a file. All right, let me go back and see what we have. What do we have, guys? We've got file 1, file 2, and on this one, it's empty, file 1. On file 2, there's something because I created it. But I can also create a file with something by using the VI. VI is an editor. VI, say file 3. If I say VI file 3, I can then type in what I want, insert. It's refusing. Insert.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, insert. So I can type the content of that file. I can type what I want on that file. I can type a lot of things on that file. And what do? I can say save. To save a file, we say Shift Z. Oh no, we remove the insert and say what is the removal of the insert. We say escape. And then we say Shift Z. And if we go back to LS, we realize that we've got file 1, we've got file 2, we've got file 3, and file 3 is got I created using this one using cat. I just used touch on that one. So there are so many ways of creating a file. And we can, I thought, I don't know something. We can actually append a file by using cat, and then we append the content of a file into another. All those are manipulations that we can do. But for now, let me just limit myself to creating a file. I can also create a directory. How do I create a directory? Make di and say, what directory do you want? Say, what directory do you want? The people, Makotiran. Tinashe, what name can I call my directory?
Tinashe. Nicole.
Nicole, please, the name of a directory that I can apply here.
Tinashe.
Oh, the directory must be Tinashe.
That's okay. That's okay.
And we create a directory called Tinashe.
Anondifarira Nico.
And we do an ls and an l. If you look on the directory, this one is blue, this one is blue. If we go down there, it's Tinashe. Are we seeing that? Are we seeing that Tinashe?
Yes, true or not?
Are you seeing? When exams file 111 not Tinashe at the end.
You see.
And why is it blue, Tinashe? Why is it blue?
What's the name of the directory?
Yeah.
It's a directory.
Not a file. It's not a regular file. So how do you get into it? We use CD. I can say CD Tinashe. I've gotten into Tinashe, you can see that. Now I can say LF, Panachinweda, Panachin. I can say touch. What is your CV? CV Tinashe. I can say touch that one. I can say touch what? Application letter or whatever. Is that okay? Up later. And, sorry, touch. Yeah. I just said without saying touch. I need to say touch first. And touch, then space, up. Are we together, guys?
Yes, sir.
And then enter. And then I can say file 10 for Tinashe. Then file 10. Sorry. I'm forgetting how to touch and
Say.
I must say touch because in the create.
Yes.
Oh no. But one of the is a command is 3 or what does it say?
Not touch.
And it's not touch. So I need to put
You see.
Yeah. And then I can do Tinashe, I put the ls match on that directory. You can see there is this directory, these files. 1, 2, 3, 5. Is that okay, people?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So we can create a directory, we can create files, we can, or I haven't done that. I can delete a file, I can say cd dot dot, and say ls. I can go back. I've gone back. I've gone to a subdirectory called Tinashe. Are we together, guys?
Yes.
I've gone to a subdirectory called Tinashe. But I can also go back by saying cd dot dot. You see, realize this command does. I'm going one level up ladder. So I'm now back to where I was. So I can say ls and then I can delete a file. For example, I can say delete. How do you delete a file? rm, remove a file. So a file 1. I can say then ls. You can see, is file 1 still there?
No, sir.
It has gone because we have removed. What this command does is it removes the file. I would get it. And then
So, second, that will be retrieved.
around the file. Yes, ask the question.
Second, that file will be retrieved or it's permanent.
That's what you should know from now onwards. Linux haina bin zvezveWindows zviyazi sokuti kana wadirita chino unoenda woti chi chakapachi unonzi
Recycle bin.
apa hapana raenda rashamura raenda zvachose raenda masachidya aende zvinobva zvaenda zvachose. You can't even see a trace of it. Have I answered your question, sir?
Yes.
So, rinobva raenda. I think there's no bin for you. Rinobva raenda. What we normally do is, kana kuda kusurvive under Linux, we do what is called known as backup. Ukaita zvinhu zvine muso chaizvo, say like ukuita zvinhu zvine musindo, zvine musoro chaizvo. What do? You save your things on a backup hard drive somewhere. Because paunombokanganisa chete ukati remove zvinoenda zvigoenda hauchazozviona. Let's try to remove a regular file. Regular file, if I need something on it, and say let's remove file 2. You want to see what will happen. It's going. Because I think we are on a higher level. But let's remove Tinashe tomorrow. Can we remove Tinashe? RM. Can we remove Tinashe? Tinashe. Remember, Tinashe is a what?
The directory.
What Tinashe? It's a directory, right?
Yes.
What does it say there?
Cannot remove.
Tinashe. It's failing to pronounce you properly.
Management spelling.
Tinashe. Why does it say?
Directed.
It is a directory. It's not a file. To remove a directory, we can say RMDIY, something like that. But please, we can actually spend quite a bit of time. But I want you to get this. There's a way of creating a file, there's a way of deleting of a file, there's a way of creating of a subdirectory. You can actually delete one or many, nothing. Is that okay? So to remove a directory, what do you do? Tinashe, say the procedure for people. How do you remove Tinashe? Tinashe. Tinashe, what you want to say? Yeah? What you? That's why I need to people. Some of you are moving on to Kotsiya. So to remove a file, directly called Tinashe. You know what is I.C.D.L or Tinashe? What do? You remove all the files. Then you can remove the directory called what? Tinashe. Is that okay, people?
Yes, sir.
I want to believe I've covered most of the things that I want to don't like. Yeah, and then I can go back to with you guys. Are we together, guys?
network yakunetsa.
Yeah.
Somebody, I have to explain it how things are done.
Say I have a question.
Yes, Walter.
I just need to know something. If you,
Yes.
I think if you want to remove a director, that now it depends if the director is going to, or if it's fair. So, if the director is empty, like is not empty, so I think you have to write remove the voice then what R, then when you're a director.
Very good, and Walter, you are one of my good students. I would want to think that all students in this class are listening to that. You cannot remove a directory when it is got content on it. You can only remove it
When
there
it
is
is
nothing
empty.
or in it, and then you can actually then go ahead and remove the directory. But what I was trying to say, Walter, first of all, to move it, you have to go into the directory.
Then
But I tell you, I can remove it using a switch. How do you remove a switch? How, Walter, how do I remove a directory with something on it, like Tinashe?
You see RM,
Yes,
and then
Mine
there's a
minus D.
minus R.
then you name directory.
Good. Where is Tinashe, Walter getting them? If we say man, guys, if we say man, RM, we will realize that there's a switch called. Are you seeing this, guys? No, but are you seeing it? Are you seeing it, guys? Are you seeing it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I don't know who you guys read see. Mumanyarara kuti see. Ngamuti chikoro chacho. Makanzina detail chikoro.
Totataura but network inononoka kusvitsa.
Oh, all right. If we use, guys, listen, guys. When I would out. Yeah, I would out, guys.
Imunya.
Then I say, Echo. Guys, you will be penalized heavily by me for that. Because you are disturbing the class. It's not funny. You're disturbing the class. You are abusing my energy. I don't want to talk to you for a long time when we are talking doing this kind of stupid
What did
thing.
you do? Wow. Saleta man. I'm rebellious.
Realize you can use minus F.
Wow.
Minus F.
Safari dzemari mawadzorere apo yakwanerewo.
Deletion and ignores non-existent files and arguments and never prompt. So this one will just delete. And I prompt before every.
Are you in class?
If you want to
Yeah, but
before every mobile, you put minus what? Minus I. And then if you want to remove directory, like what were we doing, guys? In our case, we want to remove a directory. Are we together, guys? We said you can remove empty directory. Are we together? But if I put a minus R, removes directories and their contents
recursive. That's what Walter was talking about. If we put a minus R, we can remove the content of a directory recursive. Recursive meaning together with content, and then we will actually deal with the problem. So we can remove Tinashe, although, of course, we need to be careful. We don't want to remove you from the class. Is that okay? Tinashe,
Say?
we don't want to remove you from the class. Huh?
Yeah.
So what are we doing? We want to remove the director of Tinashe. And what do you do? Tinashe, what do you do if we want to remove it totally? Okay, RM, the switch is minus
Negative.
Minus R.
minus R, then
Director name.
A, and then we can remove that. And if we do an LS, you realize that a file called Tinashe is now what? Totally
Remove.
remove from
Right.
the subject. Is that okay in the room?
Yes, sir.
We have learned something. Was it worth your while?
Yeah,
I expect you to shine. I've requested, I've applied my best knowledge on these things, and I'm praying that you guys take up my advice and then keep these theories, because you're going to do a very practical exam based on what you guys have been doing or gone through in practical reality. So, where you get Tinashe, let him give us the video. Let's get to record all this, and let's be very willing to learn Linux. In fact, as I say, I can train you in Linux. I am willing to, but of course it might cost you a bit of money. I'm the right person for you to engage in if you really want more exposure. I'm very keen on it. Anybody with a question about immigration and the creation of a country? I think I've done a bit of justice to this topic so far.
So
I mean, what
kana samana a order.
say, I've never
Sir,
Yes, boss. Diani, your name first.
Nicole.
Nicole, you've been participating. I give you 100% extra marks.
Thank you. I was just wondering, how can you
Yes,
access
Nicole.
as for Lagita a bit of practice by ourselves?
Yeah, what is happening is, Nicole, I'm hearing from the grapevine that this thing called lockdown is going down. Is that okay?
Okay.
You can come into the labs. Guys will show you how to log into the Linux machine. You can do a lot of practice by yourself, Nicole. And I like students who are keen on that. But I cannot organize a training session because for the simple reason there's not enough room for that. So you take your time, Nicole, log into a machine, do a few commands, and if you are stuck, I can assist you.
Okay.
Nicole?
Sir.
You just have to look into what we have on that slide, and you try to go through by doing those commands, Nicole. Then
Okay.
I'll be very happy that I've trained somebody called Nicole, and she now knows what she's doing on this end.
It's always good in life to feel like I've contributed to somebody knowledge, board of knowledge. You can say, I know I'm Nicole Mavika. Oh, Mavika, are you the son to,
The son.
or the daughter to my friend Mavika?
I wouldn't know.
You know. Angariku, he's still there, anatomy.
I doubt. I don't know.
Mabika, don't difficult to. But anyway, I will train you the same, even if you are a strange Mabika. Nicole, you've impressed me, and I'm very happy, and I'm willing to assist you to.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes. How do I clean up temporary? How do I clean up temporary files in directory?
Temporal files? What do you mean?
Files with the TMP extension.
Oh, now you are now asking about Windows.
Okay.
That's not my domain, but are all the same. You can actually go on the world thing and then look for the files and just go on, highlight them and delete them.
All right, thank you.
No, I wouldn't want to answer Linux issues during Windows issues during a Linux training. I don't think it's appropriate. But you can even come to the lab. We can assist you to clean those that machine. Walter?
Yes, sir. No, it's not me.
No, it's you.
No, it wasn't me, sir.
Oh, Diana Ngavunda, sorry.
Eric.
Eric. Thanks, Eric, for asking that question. But I think best under the main of...
Kwase.
Yes.
Yes, Linux is common nowadays. Teachers are modern technology.
Actually, Windows in is common in Fana way. But well,
yeah,
you can be sure that Windows is going out of fashion. We are going to have Linux only. That's why we are training you now, because it's becoming the core. It's almost like the in thing. Anybody that has Linux, so Linux that both ways.
Thanks.
That's why the university is deciding to train you in some of these very free yet stable softwares.
Okay, so are we done for today?
Yes.
Pani arikuja display game.
Didn't go here and Diana dear Archford.
In that food.
Archford, let me have Archford. Tauratin.
Naje punto pana arikuja.
Tinashe angachi record and Tinashe.
Ndiri kurekodha saka amene vanozorida mucommand button.
Tinashe ane problem one anomboita out. Ndakaona repeat yokupesira. It's not there. Inini chidzidzisa go but I mean what happened there tonight?
Anenge anotaura pafoni. Aiwe. Tadhakwa.
Ashley.
Sorry.
You are going to be fired.
So, I have a question regarding
Let's have a Nash or somebody else.
See.
See.
your record, Ashford.
Konezi.
Yes.
Hello. Papers for learners.
The record at the end of this thing, the questions that are asked there are sufficient for this level. Otherwise, if you ask me, I will give you my administration Linux very heavy. You won't even answer a thing. You know, the exam as usual.
Question regarding the exam.
Tafaza, you don't even attempt to ask me. My questions are slide. Those are the kind of questions we are for learning. Heavier than that, Tafaza, you won't even sit in the exam. What will make it here?
What is it going to happen?
What is going to come?
What is the exam going to cover? The next week exam.
Going to cover a bit of Windows, a bit of Excel, a bit of PowerPoint, a bit of introduction to computers, remember? All those slides, when they revise them heavily and do those things and then get the practicability of things, then be able to tackle the questions.
What if expect the date? Let's see.
Mati, what is it?
Next. Thank you. Next week, Wednesday and Friday. One.
Can you please extend the date?
Well, extend the date for what?
For the exam, not for the
Actually, you know what? I'm actually behind. Other lecturers have got their coursework marks, and we are behind. So after finishing my Lanat, I can afford to sit around and ask as many questions.
Sema video and this one's network. Mati video ndio wana kupi.
Virus arekoda, Tinashe arekoda, you saying
I record mfana noti Tinashe.
Nire last time mere, anarwe.
It's okay.
Guys, making you for to write the exam because I'm not gonna mark you. Kana mkasanyora the two exams, you are likely to fail. Okay, I'm about to wind up. Chagari, the 7 and 10 minutes. Ask your questions quickly.
But exam yacho multiple choice, practical, what?
Largely multiple choice, but structured questions as well. And where you would finish the question. Structured questions, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I know it could auto finish or auto complete. So go and read, guys. Go and read. Go through the slides. There's Manoti SM now. Apana, nothing new. Online. Online, unongoita hook out, and that if you are clever, go to a very good network. Usaita zvako zvekugara pachi system chine poor network, wozotanga kuti couldn't upload, unoona zero.
Según COVID, yo. Según COVID. Sisto no te campus, no creo.
Ko mapurisa akationa manje tinodzingiriswa katiri muza.
Oh no, ni andikufuna CV. Ina macopies yakutumela unilawo. No, niyatumela katesi. I'm just finishing a class emfundisa abantwana. Welcome. Sorry guys, I was just talking to somebody. Yeah, was it direct, Chikoman? If you don't, you try to blame the system. Yeah, my machine won't go slow. Chi. There's a quiz.
But can't you give at least three chances to write the test if in case the network fails?
We are behind. We should have produced the marks. And the reason is you guys must be computer literate. You must be able to identify a good network and go there and do an exam.
So, this is Zimbabwe. You can't
funny WhatsApp platform.
Yeah? Sorry, one guys. Network. Sorry.
I said this is Zimbabwe. You know our internet systems.
No, but I can't record that into a Mac. How do I record a Zimbabwean Mac?
No, I mean the networks. The network providers.
Look for a good network.
Okay, it's okay.
But I say, go up in India. Say.
Yes.
Go examine. Are we able to endini? Say. Don't examine to kwanza kunyora pa phone rekana wote. But you know pa laptop strictly.
Anaona network iri right.
You should be manyorerwa.
Hands kwa phone it's possible.
Oh, it's okay.
6 to 6.
Na admire ndiye ari ku administer the network. Hello guys. Hello.
Yes.
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 You should have a Gmail account. Platform that we are going to use, you'll be supposed to have a Gmail account. Right? So we send the link when the time is around, maybe 5 minutes before, then you open the link, then you just get into the exam. Even using your phone, there's no problem. What is required just a network that is working.
Kuzi, tine WhatsApp platform ratingakwanisa kuzotora that information, my links and some complaints.
Yes, but this you are communicating with your class reps. So your class reps are everything that we're telling them. So make sure pane yatakatumira inonzi.
Okay.
Makapane message are you there? Google Classroom. Pane takatopotumira some of the stuff that you are supposed to be practicing.
That I want to link, you know.
Right, just give you the okay, hello guys. Right, if you go to Google Classroom, it will be easy for us because we can just check your emails from there. You go to Google Classroom and go in the join class. Right? How old they?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have something to write. I just want you to give you the codes that will make you join. You go to Google Classroom, we say join class, then just take the following code. Right, T7. Hello?
Yes.
Small letter T and it. Small letter T, 7. Small letter T again. D.
Small letter.
SA. All in small caps. Did you get that?
It's T7 TDSA, right?
No. T7 TD SA.
Can you come again, say?
Then we will forward that your class reps have that password. that code. So just go to Google Classroom, then join class, then you just enter that code. You see all the stuff that we send there. Guys, I think you have had a very good day, and probably some of you have learned a few things. Can we all acknowledge that we have learned something? Have we learned something?
Yes.
Yes.
Then talent, one for the first time. Talent wangu.
Ndandagara ndiripo se.
Ayi unokotsira
Nini system?
Are we together, guys?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. If we have learned something, let's thank God and let's get ready for the exam. From now onwards, through Tinashe, he will be posting what was happening, and we want to run. We will have tested the system by that time, and we should be able to tell you exactly that if you don't find a network, it's your own problem. We give you more time than necessary. The exam is probably possible to do within 1 hour, 30 minutes, but we give you an extra 30 minutes to finish due to the thing. But if you are really into this, you will actually try to read everything, then get ready for the exam. Thank you so much. Can I close it?
Sure, sir.
All the best for the test, all the tests. I'll get in touch with you as far as the actual exam is concerned. I'll be trying to have you pass well, guys. I'll be seen in bad light if you guys don't perform good. So I need to get you guys to do well, and especially on the Linux bit. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Have a nice day. Thank you so much. Sorry for... Oh, no, actually, I'm in time. Exactly 3:15. I'm closing this. Is that okay?
Yes.
Good. Let's call it a day. And other things, forward an organized problem to your reps and through Tinashe, and we will be able to address them. Is that okay, people?
Yes.
Tinashe and admire. You must talk to them and when address. Let's thank God for this session, because I thought it wasn't going to be possible at one point. But thank God we managed to scramble through. Let's call it a day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. How do I get...